The 2025 Acura TLX. We have no new changes for this latest model year aside from a price increase. We still have here the same three trim levels. We have the base tech package, we have the A-Spec in the middle, and both the tech and the A-Spec models, they are powered by the 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine. And then we have the Type S TLX at the top. Compared to 2024, the price has gone up by $400 for both the 4-cylinder models, and with the Type S, the price has gone up by $750 compared to last year. So your new starting price for the tech model with destination is going to be $46,595. The A-Spec, it costs $5,000 more at $51,595, and the Performance Type S will set you back $58,945. Now, is this vehicle worth it? That's the real question, because this is one of Acura's worst selling products. Even the new Integra sells double the units, and even the more expensive MDX, it sells pretty much like triple the amount that the TLX does. And why is that? Well, first of all, there's hardly any real good lease programs, incentives, things of that nature to really incentivize buyers to go out and purchase these things. Once you get to this level of automobile, most people end up leasing and dumping the Audis, the Mercs, and the BMWs. So things like resale value, reliability, these components tend to take a back seat when it comes to this segment, because this is no longer the economy box segment that we're talking about here. But is the TLX a bad car? Absolutely not. I mean, even the regular 4-cylinder models, I kid you not, they genuinely have like a 6-figure chassis and suspension feel, and I'm not exaggerating about that. The A-Spec that I test drove back in 2021, the chassis, the suspension, the handling, especially with that super handling all-wheel drive system, it pretty much rivaled a CLS 53 AMG, which was like a 6-figure car at the time, brand new. And once again, this TLX, I mean, it felt almost identical to that, just in its A-Spec form. And then recently this year, I did get an opportunity to test out the Type S. Phenomenal. In fact, the handling didn't even change much compared to the regular A-Spec 4-cylinder models, because it didn't have to. The handling was already top tier, especially with the all-wheel drive system. But the biggest letdown would be the 4-cylinder engine and the regular 10-speed automatic tuning. So the 4-cylinder, it comes with 272 horsepower, 280 pounds-feet of torque, and it's just not tuned to feel that great in this vehicle. The drivetrain really lets down this car. There's more lag with it. It's not terrible. You can obviously live with it. It's just that the rivals, if you're going to do this turbo setup, that's where the Euro cars really shine. But then you step up to the Type S. That V6 is phenomenal. Now you get the rev matched downshifts, and in general the performance of the 10-speed, it just feels better in the Type S. Everything feels a lot more crispy. That is genuinely a car that I can recommend. The Type S is a top tier experience, but once again, not everybody is going to appreciate that car and this brand in general. Most people, they want the Euro stuff at this level. Another drawback to the TLX would be the rear seating space. It's pretty constricted in the back, and that's because Acura tuned and calibrated this vehicle to have a really rigid chassis, and they have certainly succeeded in that department, but that has led to less rear seating space, to the point where, yeah, I can see why the Integra is now outselling the TLX, because it comes with almost the same level of rear seating space while actually giving you a hatchback trunk in the rear. The Integra becomes more practical for less money. And the third main con that I can think about regarding the TLX is going to be the real-world fuel economy for both the 4-cylinder and the V6 Type S. It's genuinely not that great. The A-Spec model, it's going to get 21 city, 29 highway. The Type S, it's going to get 19 city, 25 highway. And you might not even be able to meet these figures if you drive more spirited in the real world. That's where the Euro cars really shine. Things like the BMW and the Audi 4-cylinders, you can meet and exceed the fuel economy estimates and it's going to be far superior than the TLX in the real world regarding that. So I think, yeah, 4-cylinder performance, the rear seating space, and the fuel economy, I think all three of these things really bring down the TLX, as well as the lack of any real deals and good lease programs. Other than that, the TLX is a really handsome looking vehicle. It comes really well equipped. Actually, starting in 2024, these vehicles, they got a subtle facelift, super subtle. I mean, you can barely even tell the difference. But more importantly, we did get more standard equipment in 2024, like a larger 12.3-inch infotainment screen with a faster processor, wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, wireless charging pad, etc. And also for 2024, the A-Spec models actually got some refinement updates. They became quieter in 2024. They got new front fender liners, wheel insulators, B-pillar insulators, and door insulators, all to reduce the road noise for a quieter cabin, according to Acura. They did not confirm if the Type S got those same enhancements, but when I tested the 2024 Type S, it was genuinely a rather quiet car. I absolutely loved driving it. Plus, another incredible feature with these Acuras, it's going to be their ELS audio system. Truly one of the best audio systems for under $100,000. But to be fair, even the Integra A-Spec, that can also come with a really good ELS audio system as well. And something else that people might not like is the infotainment screen. It is very cumbersome. There is a technique to it. You do have to get used to it. But in general, this is probably one of the worst infotainments out there. Ideally, you would have to go in there, set everything up to your liking, and then never touch it and just live in Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for the rest of your ownership life. That's really the best way to treat this. And again, I'm not really trying to be a downer on the TLX. I genuinely like this car. I'm one of the few journalists that genuinely appreciate this product and what most Acuras are trying to do. I like the fact that this is a prestigious brand in the United States that offers great looking vehicles. They come well equipped, good dealership support. I mean, there's a lot to love here, but the TLX, especially something like the A-Spec models, these 4-cylinders, they have to at least lease out really cheap. I'm telling you, like $350, $400 a month, because nobody's buying this. I hardly even see these things on the road. One of the key rival vehicles to the TLX, the Lexus ES, I mean, they sell over double the units that the TLX does, because the ES genuinely offers really good rear seating space to the point where it's rivaling the 5 Series and the E-Class Benz. That's what the TLX was supposed to do, but it's not doing that due to the way Acura set up the chassis. Plus that Lexus ES, it's ultra comfortable, and that's what a lot of people value in a vehicle. There's a very small percentage of people that genuinely value driving and handling dynamics. Very few people care about that, and that is a shame. That being said though, since you made it to the end of this video, I will share with you some resource to help you out regarding saving money on not just these Acuras, but with other vehicles as well, and also tools to help you negotiate on your own as well. So regarding saving on new vehicles, I am partnered with one of the largest car brokers in the United States, AutoCompanion, and he finally got back some Acura discounts. He hasn't mentioned anything on the TLX, which is not surprising because once again, it's one of their least popular vehicles. But on pretty much the rest of the lineup, he's offering about 10 to 11% off the MSRP on things like the Integra, the MDX, the RDX, the ZDX, and that's great. And I'm assuming you can pretty much get the same on a TLX as well. So if you got 10% off on a TLX, what is that going to leave you with? Well, a $50,000 A-Spec model, 10% off, that's about $5,000. Pretty good. Now, he's never advertised Type S discounts aside from the MDX. He did used to advertise like 10% off on the MDX Type S, which is great, but that's like a $75,000 vehicle, very expensive. If you could genuinely get $5,000 to $6,000 off on the Type S, that is a no-brainer, top-tier vehicle. I can recommend that all day long, but that's easier said than done. There's usually less than 100 TLX Type S's throughout the entire country because again, the demand is simply not there. Not enough people appreciate what that vehicle is able to do. Keep in mind, if you're going to work with a broker like AutoCompanion, he will charge a broker fee. Okay, so that's going to eat into your discounts. Now, because I'm partnered with them, if you sign up with my affiliate link in the description box, he will take some money off of that fee, which is nice, but still something you have to pay. And he is located in Washington, D.C. So if you're not located near the D.C. area, then you will have to ship the vehicle, which isn't an issue. I've done that twice now, never had a problem. It's always been a seamless experience working with AutoCompanion and his shipping partners. But again, shipping is something else that you have to pay extra for if you need that service. Regardless of that, let's say shipping, the broker fee, all of that ended up costing you like $2,000, which it probably won't cost that much, but let's just say it did. That's still a sizable discount on most of these Acuras, especially if you live in a place where your local dealerships are rather stingy. But if you want to try and negotiate on your own, AutoCompanion also has a free leasing calculator, which will be once again located in the description box. This is one of the most powerful tools that a consumer can use because it will show you the interest rate of a lease, the residual values, and the incentives that you can qualify for in your local zip code. This is important because incentives always stack on top of the dealer discount. So if you qualify for military, conquest, loyalty, all of that is going to stack on top of, AutoCompanion's dealer discounts or whatever you're able to negotiate with a local dealership. If you are going to try and reach out to a dealership on your own, always try to find the general manager's email or one of the new car sales manager's email. Email them directly the numbers, the out the door price, the interest rate, incentives, etc. Lay that all out and finalize all the numbers through email before walking into a dealership. That's the best way to do things. And if you are going to be leasing these products, never put money down on a lease. So all of that is great, but AutoCompanion obviously represents many different brands, especially rival manufacturers to Acura like BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Audi, Volvo, etc. And nowadays almost everything is expensive. Even a basic 4-cylinder 3 Series, C-Class Benz, A4, all of these vehicles, they're going to be leasing for like $600-700 a month, even with these substantial discounts. And that's mainly because the interest rate of most of these leases are rather high. To drop that interest rate, you would have to do things like a one-pay lease or put down multiple security deposits, which is a refundable deposit that you would get back at the end of your lease. Once you get to this level of vehicle, leasing would be in your best interest, especially if you're able to drop that interest rate down lower. And that's because these are luxury products. They tank in value. And leasing, especially if you get a low interest rate lease, that's going to protect your residual so you're not underwater 3 to 4 years from now. But if you don't know how leasing works, if you don't understand the interest rate of the lease, then at that point, leasing would be fleecing, like how Dave Ramsey says. If you don't know these numbers, do not walk into a lease at all, because a dealership can absolutely screw you. And that's why it's imperative that you use things like those calculators. Or if you're dealing with certain brands like Audi, go on Audi's website because they offer like 0.9% interest rate financing during these times. Like right now, I'm recording this video December of 2024. Programs change every month, including interest rates, incentives, etc. AutoCompanion's calculator can update every month, but so will the manufacturer website, of course. So if you wanted to finance these vehicles, especially in Audi, you would be better off doing the finance because of the low promotional interest rates that they offer on certain vehicles, especially on things like the Q5s, that SUV, which is about to be redesigned. So companies like Audi, they want to clear out those previous model years. And the Q5 is a perfect vehicle to bring up because this is where it would be in your best interest to start shopping apples to oranges. Okay, when you just shop apples to apples, you're almost never going to get a good deal. And the average person, they're going to want to stretch their dollar as far as it can go. You want to get the best value possible. And to do that, looking at just the apples to apples, looking at just sedans, that's not going to cut it. Right now, the Q5 is one of the best luxury car values right now. Whether you lease it, finance it, doesn't matter. Q5 and even the performance SQ5 is worth looking into right now at the time of this recording. I love Mercedes. They drive amazing, especially their top tier trim levels like the Pinnacles with the noise insulating glass. Phenomenal driving experience. But the blasted screen that they put inside of their new vehicles, I personally can't stand that. Maybe you can, but something like a C300 Benz was genuinely one of my most favorite vehicles in the class, but the screen is a big letdown for me personally. If you actually don't care about the brand and the badging, and you just want a great driving experience and not blow a bunch of money, I would really look into some Mazda products like a CX-5 or a CX-50, and no, I'm not exaggerating. Those are some top tier products that you can lease, finance, pay cash for. It doesn't matter what, you can for the most part come out pretty good. You're getting a good driving experience, safe vehicle, and hopefully not lose a crazy amount in depreciation, especially if you go with the more basic models. Regardless though, I just wanted to share with you these resources and this information to hopefully help someone out who might be in the market, just so you can see what is possible today. So all of AutoCompanion's information, it will be down in the description box below. You can work with them or don't. Again, I just want you to see what the market is like today. Programs are not that great across the board. Sure, you get some anomalies here and there, like the random Volvo XC90 that's leasing out for like less than $400 a month on like an $80,000 SUV. Yeah, that happens from time to time, but obviously that's not always the case. It's at certain times of the month. Certain vehicles can be had for really good deals. Right now, the Q5 is definitely a vehicle that Audi wants to clear out. I know that. But again, all of this, it ties back to Acura and how they pretty much never really offer any good programs for the TLX, despite it not selling that well. And that's a shame, because at the right price, I would love to rock a TLX myself. So regardless of that, let me know your personal thoughts in the comment section below regarding the TLX and some of these rival vehicles that I brought up. If you're an owner of one of these TLXs or even the Type S, let us know how you like it and how it's been holding up for you. But thank you again for watching. Take care and goodbye.